Are we on?
Yeah. Hey, welcome everybody. This is Lobo del Sol.
And Todd Rolson. Welcome tonight to streaming live on 2 Source 22.
Yes.
And also on Facebook on all our accounts. Super excited to be here. We've been having a fun week.
Yes, we have.
I don't think we're going to go into that tonight.
No.
Maybe a little bit, but what do we want to start with?
Where do we want to start?
Likes, shares.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah. If you're on here, please share with your friends, with your buddies, with your homies, with your family. We're doing this for you guys because we love you and we want to help you guys out.
Yeah, and also, this is useful information. This is the idea of 2 Source 22 for those that are watching this first video, is we operate from 2 sources of information. Source being a whole information, like a whole universe or a whole earth. And so Lobo here tends to be a bit more from earth information, but also above, and I tend to be a little bit more from higher levels of information from high Akashics and so forth. So as you're going to see, we're going to say a lot of the same things, but with a little bit different feel or slant or emotion. Our mission is to do this for you guys. So we thank you for being here and watching it and spreading this information. Please spread it as much as you can. So tonight, we came up with the title this afternoon, which is what we always do. But no preparation.
No.
And there's a reason for that, because we like to channel. But what's the name of the talk today?
It is Cut Out the Middleman. Bum, bum, bum.
Did you have to do the music?
Yes, man. I think you're feeling the same way I am. Really, really silly,
Yeah. So cutting out the middleman is what?
Well, what are you talking about? Like, in our life, in spiritual life or emotional, like, what are you talking about exactly?
Well, I would say cutting out all the stuff we don't need on one level.
Mm-hmm.
On the other level, I would say it's releasing burdens. On another level, I would say fear. On another level, I would say religion or of having others interpret your value or perspectives that don't work for you. I think we are in this planet of distraction.
Oh, distraction, that's like understatement, Yeah. And it's for us to see if we're actually completely present and in the moment. And there's this game. Our previous talk was when you end all games, there's nothing but truth, And when then you have truth, well, of course, you begin to cut out the middleman. What does that mean exactly? Well, religion, you mentioned, banking.
Yeah.
Why does somebody else have to be teaching your kids? Gosh, I'm just like, there's everything. Honestly, it's taking self-responsibility for yourself. You are a creation, and you also are the creator of your truth, of your creation. Why do you need me to tell you what to do? Why can't you take self-authority and do that yourself?
Yeah.
Like, we can govern our own selves, but we've been conditioned that we need a government, or we need a legislator, or we need a president.
Or we need to put faith in another person or our boss, or it's run so deep, guys, that at this point in most of society, we literally have a hard time feeling ourself and our truth. And I know in the last talk, we talked quite a bit about being in the now, mm-hmm. and being present as a key to having more direct knowing from your higher self consciousness. And whether you want to call it your higher self or Holy Spirit or guide or, higher being. Words are a bit of illusion.
Yeah.
We want you to take everything that we're presenting to you and formulate it in your words and your values and your heart. But what we are suggesting is it's time to get rid of these distractions and giving power away, because giving power away is basically fear.
Yeah.
And we are all continually battling for power. Now, there is a group of people who are stepping out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know us when you meet us, because you can engage us how you would want to. The programs that you're running will not work. We'll acknowledge them, we'll be kind, but we'll just no. And this is coming from being in this now moment and recognizing the truth. Because if you're centered, there's a different level of truth, isn't there? I mean, how would you describe that? Just being in a place of centeredness within yourself.
So peaceful.
Yeah.
There's so much ease. Your words just come out and they flow. I love when there's like these priceless pauses.
Golden nuggets.
Those golden nuggets.
When you get the golden nuggets.
I mean, it's honestly, you begin to stop taking yourself seriously.
Yeah.
Because you see how truly ridiculous you've been, you are, and everything around you is. So you see the truth, but you can't help but laugh because it's a game.
Yes.
A game that's ended. But certain people continue to play it because it's power. Fear is power. It's powerful, powerful, powerful.
I mean, it's funny because Spirit was talking to me earlier, just to go offshoot for a second, that I'm a full-time psychic for 20 years. And yet we don't spend a lot of time promoting ourselves. And we need to talk about it a little bit. So we're going to do that a bit tonight. But this power, when you don't have the need to prove yourself, and you don't have the need to play a game or a power game, it's a different experience being human. It's and I like the ease of it. Not that it's not hard, because we talked a lot about in the second talk how hard it is to be human, and that we can live in these parallel lives. So we'd be fully human and fully in higher self or spirit. And let's face it, this is a challenge to be human, no matter if you recognize the programs. There's a lot of challenges and emotions. So we're not talking about that, but we are talking about how the game of power is played, and how through our own fears we are trusting other sources.
Yeah. And how does that look like? I mean, honestly, I'll speak from personal experience, because I had to go and destroy my foundation just recently. And it was really revealing to see how much I wanted to suffer. Instead of letting go of that power, that fear, that sacrifice, whatever you want to call it, I wanted to hold on to it. And I allowed myself for 3 days, literally, to go through it. I tortured myself. I was so ridiculous because I felt, because that became part of me, that if I lost this, that I would lose myself. That I would lose the recognition that I had received from playing that game, And it was really interesting because it was revealed to me that what had happened is that my ego, when my spirit wasn't completely in my body, something had to step in, had to step forward to make the body function. So what happened, the ego came forward with the memories from the mind, and started shape-shifting, started playing me. So in the beginning, it was like, whoa, this is hard. But then it started liking it because it saw the power that it had, And so it kept playing it and shape-shifting and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And it saw that if it touched and held on to fear, then it would be really, really powerful. That it would stop me from having self-authority of myself, from listening to my heart. That I would just give my power away to it.
But, what is power? It's also an illusion. You know, having power or control over a situation or a person, or if you're the leader of the football team, you're supposed to be a leader of whatever. These roles are set up in our society, and roles set up even as friends. The one thing I'll say about Lobo and I, we're both pretty ridiculous. That's the first thing. But we are constantly checking each other on information, and Lord knows I've had to check this guy for a while because there was a bit of a power game. And for me personally, it was more of a personality game. So his was power and mine was like my personality was a little out of whack because I'm going opposite. I'm going spirit to personality, and right?
Yeah.
And so, but they're both games, and they're both systems that we signed up for to go through. And so when you do get to this moment in time where this struggle is happening, which is happening for all of you out there, where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm here. I don't want to be here. You're mad at God. You're mad at your family. You're mad at your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You're mad because your flowers are, there's only 8 in a bunch instead of 9. We are in this game of power still.
Yes.
So how do we change it?
Give it up.
Give it up.
Give it up. I'm going to put it really simple.
Wait a minute, more simple than give it up?
Yes, even more simple.
He's going into silence now. I love that.
Wow. Silence. No. Surrender, not to love, not to a God. Surrender to yourself. Simple. Allow yourself to experience yourself like you've never experienced it before. Simple. Yourself. You. The only thing you are supposed to do, free will, is experience yourself. Experience you. Don't be a mystery. Stop being a mystery to yourself. Stop being a mystery to the beauty that you are. Stop being a mystery to the love that you are.
Well, and we're all searching outside of ourselves. If I can get this, or I can be this, or once I have my Reiki master, or once I finish school, then I can go into this. And it's all distraction. I find it interesting, and I want to go into some of the reasons we're having this distraction, but I find it interesting that we will believe someone else over ourselves. Why? Who better to know about ourselves than ourselves? We will mirror between each other, especially when you move up into a little bit more higher self-consciousness. Mm-hmm. We very much become mirrors for people, and that can create a lot of issues projected upon us and projected on other people. But that's also, there's reasons for this, to show the games that are going on. Not that we're perfect, or other people who understand this or move to a little more knowing are any better. It has nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. It's simply energy dynamics. Everything is energy. Mm-hmm. So if you're not going to accept a program, you will bounce it back. Yeah. So surrender is simply acknowledgement.
Yeah.
And I love to acknowledge Lobo for his work. And I love when he acknowledged me, because we do need this humanness between us. Mm-hmm. But it's not a game of power. I don't need it from him to be supported. I don't need it from myself
to be complete.
To be complete. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we have this misconcept that we live in a world that's so codependent. And so what happens? we end up, God, so many people's lights just go out because they're not allowed to be their true authentic self. Okay? If you want to be the Chuck Taylors, Levi wearing, bandana wearing, rockabilly, faux hawk, crazy, intuitive, allow yourself to be that. Okay? If you want to be a rock and roller, allow yourself to be that. If you want to be the country hillbilly, allow yourself to be that. We put ourselves in so many boxes because this can't understand how beautiful we truly are. You know, we restrict ourselves, even in the metaphysical community. We restrict ourselves. If you don't look a certain way, you must not be a good healer or psychic or intuitive.
Yeah.
Okay? Or you might have too much shadow or too much ego. You know, there's so many misconceptions of who we truly are because we have never been allowed to have the freedom or use our free will to be our true authentic self. Okay? So when I'm talking about authentic self, take that mask off. Take the makeup off. Take off the fake clothes and allow yourself to see yourself completely naked, completely open and vulnerable, and stand in front of a mirror and look at yourself for 5 minutes in your eyes.
And breathe.
And breathe. Simple, 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 because many of you are walking around with no spirit. Ego driving your body.
Middlemen or women. I mean, if you want to be PC.
You know, and it's sad. It's sad. There doesn't have to be any suffering, but we choose it because the ego loves the power.
Let's face it, it's not fulfilling, is it? Who out there feels fulfilled with what is happening between your relationships or in your job, or if you're metaphysical in your work? You know, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. There is so much I got to, or I've been taught to, or to have worth. And that's one of the things they're bringing up for me, because I'm always talking with lots of spirits at once. It's part of my nature to be multidimensional. And they're just reminding me that, like, if I don't have a show, like, for a week, I kind of go, I have no purpose.
You do.
Because I love my work. But and it's okay, but the point is the little ego and the worry and the value is derived from helping people. That's a program too. Mm-hmm. Your value is derived by having power over somebody. That's a program too. Your value is derived from being right. That's a program too. Why can't we be in neutrality with each other and just allow to speak and to listen? You know, it's funny because I watched the video of the live Facebook streaming at the radio show.
Oh, yeah.
And I was kind of cracking up because no one was listening to anybody.
No.
It was hilarious when I watched it because we were all just like saying what was in our brains or in our higher self, but there wasn't somebody in there balancing, asking the question, so to speak. And I think I learned something from that. Mm-hmm. We have to listen.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
We have to have that precious pause and actually listen.
Yeah.
And we aren't taught how to do that. No. But we can teach ourselves. It's so precious when we can actually listen, when we can actually hear beyond the words that are being spoken, when we can actually feel from their heart their true intention. Okay? There's a lot of us that don't listen. Take the time to listen.
But more than that, listen to yourself. I mean, that's the point of this talk. Cut out the middleman. Who are you listening to? It's one thing for us to talk about like the live stream video where we weren't listening to ourselves. And there's reasons for that. But it's another thing to go, okay, let's get to the point of this talk. Let's listen to ourselves. You can recognize after, before, during when there's a bit of imbalance. But if you learn from it, then you've learned something.
Totally. It's precious.
Yeah.
It's totally precious because, like, we forget how the wisdom that we have, or the knowing that we have, how important it is, because not only are we, when we speak it out, not only are we being a blessing to ourselves, but we're being a blessing to somebody else, to encourage them, to uplift them. We're not here to put anybody down, to say that you're wrong or that you're right. It's your free will choice. You know, self-authority starts with you. You have the authority. It was your birthright. You're made to the image of creation. You know, I mean, no wonder all these ETs, all these species have come here to manipulate us, to control us, to enslave us, to say that we need them for us to be authentic, or for us to have validation. When we start looking outside of us and forget what's inside of here, how precious this is inside of you, that it's always lived inside of you, it's always been there, but you've just chosen to ignore it, or been distracted, not present with yourself. Or if you said, yeah, like, I'm not worthy of it.
Well, I just call it a classic no-win scenario. Why is everyone miserable? Come on. You're in a no-win scenario if you're operating in personality and mind. All our genetics are a bit there. First of all, it's very two-strand. We are evolving, and that's part of the reason why all these miracles and these incredible beings are starting to come up who will do this and more. Even Jesus said, you will do this and more. So just taking that point alone, which he said, why is it so hard for a religion to say, oh, you're amazing too? You know, these flaws within our system is part of the reason that we are struggling so much. But you have to recognize the truth of it. If you're cold, you're going to put on a jacket. If you're frustrated, then you need to stop and listen to yourself. If you're unhappy with a person, you have to communicate to them and go, hey, I'm unhappy. And then the response or the communication can happen. Right now, everyone out there is allowing power, and you're allowing the middlemen to run the show. Every bit of our society is there. Look at what's happening on the Facebook article, and they wanted to talk about this tonight on Cambridge Analytics, which you should look up. It's quite fascinating. And I'll let you look that up. But basically, they took on Facebook, if you filled out a survey and you answer the questions at the end, you're like, yes, we can use your information, and we can use all your friends' information too. You give us permission to do that. And it's coming out now that it can be manipulative, of course, and you're taking your personal information and sharing it with a computer and a corporate organization. And that can be misused, obviously. Plus, you're losing personal information.
Privilege. I mean, you're not privilege. Privacy.
Privacy.
Yeah.
But the point is, didn't you already know that's what Facebook does? Don't you already know that if you go into a bank and you sign up for the bank, that if you run an NSF, you're going to be charged $35? Didn't you already know that with taxes, you sign some rights away? I mean, it's okay to acknowledge it, but why get mad about it? Guys, you already know all this stuff. So why are we running this fear program? And that's really the biggest issue. And the one thing before I get you going is I watched a little video on one of the guys that was in charge of this, and he said, if we can offer fear or hope, that's how we manipulate space and time and people. Either through fear, something's wrong, or hope, you can change it. It's that simple. They know. So what they're putting out, you buy into or you don't.
I love that you brought up social media, because news.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys even bother watching that stuff.
Unless you want to laugh a little bit,
Well,
like Stephen Colbert.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine. It totally,
Yeah.
if you want to laugh, but it's so ridiculous. It's so fear-based. So there's like 1,000 like fear articles, and then 1 or 2 hopeful ones. Like, ooh, look at humanity. Yay! When in reality, there's tons, hundreds and thousands of miracles, millions of miracles happening every day. But you, I, Todd also, all of us, we're responsible for allowing this to happen. We're giving our power away to somebody that wants to keep us enslaved for no reason. They want us to be unhappy. They don't want us to be happy. They manipulate us because that's how they make money off of us.
Because they can, if you're in fear, you are more easily programmable. Simple as that.
They can, influence you much better, much faster. Keep you in fear. Cash cow. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Why? Because we are lighthouses. Infinite power in a finite body. Infinite power.
Which is a really good point. I mean, we are energy. I mean, we are water. Masaru Emoto, I talked about him a little bit, how he proved that every thought creates a structure, whether it was war and it was a weird, scary pattern, or, love and it created this beautiful pattern. Mm-hmm. If we're talking about simplicity and we're spending so much time being worried, we are creating patterns within our cellular structure and holding our lower DNA in place and holding our mind programs. I don't see the point at this point to give power to the beings out there that want to keep us in fear. This makes no sense, does it? Does it, guys? It's simply from a perspective, why, do we need guns? Why do we need to hide or control or protect? Why not be intuitive and just not show up if there's an issue? Why not just go into know the timing to do anything? Why do we, this is another giving power to everything where we're not responsible. The higher systems of higher self and knowing allows you to have the bigger perspective. Mm-hmm. So that you can think with your mind and your intuition and your guides and your source and your akashics and your angels to give you hints, gut level, heart level, mind level, hearing level, sight level, feeling level. These are the practical systems that get you out of fear and into acknowledgement, mm-hmm. out of judgment and into observation. You will not be in fear if you are centered in observation. You will be in fear if you're thinking everyone else has it better than you. Everyone else has more potential than you. I'm only 5'2" and you're 5'8". I mean, can you understand how crazy it is to stay in these programs? Cut out the middlemen or don't. But I guarantee you, at least if you cut them out and you get an observation, you're in a broader spectrum of information.
So I love that you brought that judgment and observation, because when we're in observation, so a judgment comes up. There's nothing wrong with judgment, okay? So let's make that really clear. There's nothing wrong with judgment. It comes up. It's whether you react from it or you choose to go into observation. Because when you go into observation, you're completely neutral. And now you're looking at it saying, why did it come up? Or why did it make me feel this way? But when you have that broad perspective, then you can have movement to solve that. But in observation, guess what you do? You go inside of yourself. You take your self-authority and say, wait. That doesn't resonate with me. That feels kind of, And so when we feel kind of and we say, well, I respect you. I respect what you're saying, you know, and I accept it, but it's not for me, you know. And then there's not this conflict, this power struggle. There's no fear, and there's no judgment thrown into you or to that person. You know, observation is all about neutrality and stepping into yourself, whether it's for a second, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long, you know. And that's the beauty of it, because you're taking back that self-authority of yourself. And that is right there and then true power, because you're completely present in the moment with yourself and with that person. That, my friend, is true power without fear, manipulation, or control.
I can tell you real power does not come from power, like control or anger or projection. Real power comes from alignment. I do it every day. And it's only because it's out. The need for power is gone, and you just like show up. And these videos and these live stream are perfect examples, because now we're 5 and maybe 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
We get the title
6
at some point. Six
if you want to include the radio.
6.
Yeah.
And we get the title, and then I mean today we just got the title. We discussed nothing. We're just like, okay.
Oh.
There's one thing I want to mention, the Cambridge Analytics. But it doesn't involve fear. It involves like relaxation. Everyone out there knows when you're feeling good and you're relaxed and you're having fun. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's really our design, though, folks. We are not designed for this fear control system. And no matter what these beings out there and these programs and these controls are out there, telling you that you need to fear everything, it's fine to acknowledge. We're not taking away, like, I keep up with the news, but I don't buy into it. I know I'm always watching what's happening, but there's another level of reality, of flow and relaxation, even when the tough things happen. And of course there's personal tragedies and all that. That's emotion. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about going, I don't believe you. And that comes from knowing. Who wants to believe all this fear? And why should you? Because if you are doing this and you're angry and feeding the system, you are strengthening it. It's why protests don't work anymore, guys. You see all these protests out there and they do nothing. Nothing, because you're feeding the system. You're feeding fear. So fear, Cambridge Analytics, it comes down to fear and hope. 2 control systems. Oh, I can change. I hope it can change. Oh, they can't change. We better just like hide or run away or buy that product.
And so I want to bring a hot and juicy hot button for you guys. Trump.
Oh, you mentioned him.
Yeah, I did. You know why? Because if you got a trigger with him, guess what? You probably had a past life with him. Or there's something that he does that is reflecting into you. So your ego's like, ah! I'm not saying the ego's wrong. The ego's necessary because it helps me drink my water, put my clothes on, comb my hair, pick my food. The ego is necessary. But is it the bus driver? Is he or she driving the bus and controlling the radio and turning all the signals on? Or is it your true spirit? Everybody out there right now, stop, take a deep breath in. Take another one. One more. Do you feel that? Do you feel that ease? Do you feel how it feels to actually have you fully in the body? It's peaceful. Doesn't mean that everyday life goes out the window. Okay? I want to challenge you guys to do a little test. check your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Check your thoughts and then check your surroundings. See how much they get manipulated. The cars in front of you, your Facebook, your social media, the news, what you are aware of, what you're not aware of. Do it for a week.
How you feel about yourself, the judgments of yourself, the judgments of others.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like I did a 2-hour talk on higher self once at Cosmic Cafe for 2 hours, just streaming consciousness. And I had one comment that was negative because I said one thing they didn't like. And I was just like, what? All the 2 hours of information, you found one negative thing. And that's judgment. Why can't we support everybody? Especially the ones that are actually trying to do good work. We should be supporting them even more, but our programs are such that we like to knock those people down, and we like to help because we all have this program of victim and saving. Mm-hmm. This is a really big program, especially in the metaphysical community. Every healer out there is the wounded healer. I see it every Saturday. And almost every time I run into metaphysical people, they're completely wounded. They've done this work many lives. They've been priests and all kinds of stuff, druids and so forth. And they're like, just like I had that thought where I'm like, oh, I'm not happy unless I'm doing the work. It's another program. How are we going to do it? I love the idea and the practice of watching all your thoughts for a week. Why not just make a note right now on a piece of paper, with a smiley face, and put it all over 3 places in your house, mirror in the bathroom, on the fridge, and practice.
In your car.
Yeah, right in the middle of the windshield.
Yeah.
Maybe totally. A big smiley face.
A big smiley face. Like, don't make this hard. Make it really simple. Source is asking for you guys to go simple. Again.
And there's big reasons for this, guys. I mean, the earth is under big issues. The human condition is a bit perilous. Look at the violence. If we don't change, we are going to create more and more war and more anger. And all of you complaining about it are feeding it. Let's get to simplicity.
Facebook.
Huh?
Do you know how many people on Facebook I see supporting the fear? People that say that they're awake. People that say they're metaphysical. People that say that they're spiritual. That's something Source and I have been speaking about so constantly right now. You guys are awake.
If you tune in.
If you tune in.
Or not awake if you don't.
And you guys are choosing fear over hope and love. You're choosing with your free will authority. You're choosing to continue to manipulate and control and enslave humanity, animals, minerals, plants, trees, everything on earth, even Mother Earth.
And all Mother Earth and Spirit right now is just asking for simplicity. I mean, it's pretty simple to have a couple bags in the car for groceries, so you don't have to use plastic or paper. It's pretty simple to have refillable water bottles. It's heavy, but geez, that's eliminating a lot of plastic. It's pretty simple to, walk more instead of driving. It's pretty simple to just park in the outside parking lot so that you don't have to fight over parking spots and you get a little exercise. It's pretty simple to be kind to yourself. It's pretty simple to keep your house clean. I mean, there's so many levels of things that are good for us. And it's all, you know what they are. We don't have to tell you. We have to remind you, because that's what Spirit is asking us to do, and to channel this through, and channel it for us too, because it helps us remind us what we need also. But now's the time to stop. Stop allowing other people control. Stop allowing things that aren't good for you into your space and time. Stop being with the friends you don't want to be with. Go find some friends you want to be with. If you want to go on vacation and you have the money, and I know not everybody, it's tough now, go on vacation. Why not? What's holding you back?
Yourself.
Yourself.
No, nobody to blame other than yourself, because you're the creator of your reality.
And that's the truth.
Yeah, and that might be too much to handle for some of you guys. And I'm not apologizing. This isn't a PC talk. Okay? This is truth. Truth is simple. Truth doesn't lie. Truth doesn't manipulate. Truth doesn't control. Truth doesn't hide itself. It's you, I, Todd, the programming. Fear is that hides itself. It hides itself under mask. It hides itself under games. Hides itself in social media, in the news. It likes to wear a mask. Stop it. Stop. Stop choosing fear and hurting yourself. Stop it. You have no idea how beautiful you are. Stop being a mystery to yourself.
Buy yourself some flowers.
Jeez. Buy yourself a donut, a maple bar, or an apple fritter with a green tea latte. Like, there's so many boxes and conditions. You have to be this, 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 in order to be in alignment. Guess what? No, you don't. You don't have to be a yogini, a yoga master, a guru, a vegan. You don't have to do any of that.
No.
Is it good for the environment and for Mother Earth? Is it good for you? Yes. But you don't have to in order to be in alignment. Alignment is simple. Sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. Sit with your feelings. Sit with your emotions. Sit with your life. Play it as a movie. Look at it. Journal it. You'll see your patterns. Observation, completely neutral in yourself. No judgment of yourself.
I know for me, sometimes I do the same dumb things over and over, right? And then, but the thing is, when I do it, I'm like, I'll do better. I mean, we're human. We are in a busy planet, and we have a lot of responsibility, and it's challenging. Because I hear everyone out there going, but. I mean, they keep on saying, but. I can hear you because we're multidimensional.
I can feel you.
but. And yes, we are not saying that everything solves, but what we are saying, everything is a choice. And to move, there's initiations, and I think we should do a talk on that. Mm-hmm. And lay it out. And there are initiations that you go through, which is one word for it. And there is dark night of the soul. There is like the confusion. There is release. There is faith. There's a lot of things that we are going through because we are an evolving species. And the key to this is the only way to get through this evolution is to become intuitive. If you're still stuck in brain and fear, you are going to be really challenged and have been really challenged, and it's going to continue. The only way to step to the next path and the next is, and it's natural, is by being intuitive. Mind, intuition, emotion. We are all these things, and that's a higher strand DNA system. It's a system of broad information. It's a system of feeling, being able to feel everything around you all the time. It's so magical. Why wouldn't we want that?
Because we're waiting for the extraterrestrials to save us.
Yeah, if you're waiting for that, future, past, future.
The ETs aren't going to save us.
No. Why would they do that anyway? Come on. They're like, guys, you have all the ability on the planet. You have to change.
Sorry?
But I know there's like 2 or 3 out there that
I
are
hear
waiting.
them.
I know. But. They'll come down, clean the water, clean. No, this is our responsibility. Everything is our responsibility. Yeah. We have to grow up, and we have to grow up now. Yeah. The time is gone, guys. If you're feeling pressure, it's because your spirit is saying, dude, get going.
It's true. It's simple.
There's so much pressure, but it's because your spirit's like, please stop believing this.
Yes.
Let's move forward. Let's shift.
If being on social media triggers you so much, get off it. If the news pisses you off, don't watch it. If rock and roll music and polka music piss you off, don't hear it. Simple. Why do you continue to make yourself suffer? Doesn't mean I'm laughing at you. It's just so ridiculous.
And you have to understand that, like, all our guides and angels are laughing right now. So we get sucked into it because they think we're really funny, and we are. But they think everyone else is funny too when you're sitting there and they're equating it to like a child, like who didn't get the toy and they're mad. I know.
They just told me we're gonna pass out dum-dum lollipops to everybody on Earth. Jeez. Remember those little dum-dum lollipops? Sorry.
His guides are worse than mine, obviously. but the point is that it's time to change, and and if you can do it with some humor, that's really helpful.
You have no idea how much humor lifts the spirit, allows the spirit to come in.
Well, it's a different vibration,
and it releases all that pressure in your body. So if you're walking around with a headache, because I can feel a few of you guys walking around with headaches, but I can also feel a few of you guys sending some darts. Okay? You become really conscious, and you feel, when you're completely in yourself, you feel what's happening all around you, whoever's looking at you, whoever is around you. You become so conscious, but it doesn't faze me because I'm not choosing to give you my power. So if you're upset at me, maybe it's time for you to check yourself. You know, you're not going to hurt me because it doesn't affect me anymore. Doesn't mean that I don't have ego, because I do have ego. I need it. I need it to function in this body.
Yeah, we like likes on our page and shares. I mean, come on, we're human. But the point is that the energy, whatever you feel and whatever you see and however you're reacting to this is your stuff.
It's not my stuff.
And there's a reason for this, because we're going, hey, you have a choice, and you can change, you can stay where you are, but regardless, the vibration of the planet, the Schumann frequency, it's gone up significantly. Everything is energy. Whatever you're creating, you're responsible for. And that's an awesome thing, because if you create light, you affect everybody. And if you're pissed off and angry and blaming, you're creating lower frequency. You affect everybody too. The thing is, when you move into more consciousness and light consciousness and direct knowing, you affect a bigger group. So that's why the small, like the people who are shifting into knowing and higher self, can kind of help more people. It's simple energy, because we're carrying more light, because we're flowing, because we're a broader system. So I would just like to say that everyone's designed for it. I mean, why not have more fun? Mm-hmm. Why not see a bigger picture? I mean, there's some elder people out there who used to watch like black and white movies, you know, or had music on like the phonographs, you know, and now we have like these amazing sound systems and 60-inch TVs in our house. I mean, it's all evolution. So I would like everyone to choose what they want to evolve to right now. Do you want to be light? Do you want to stay in fear? Choice.
Free will choice at that.
Well, it is free will.
Yeah. Choice is all about free will. So please stop watching the news.
Yeah. What's the point?
Seriously. It's so ridiculous. You know, I'll
go talk to somebody.
Yes,
A neighbor.
Go say hi to your neighbor.
Or a dog.
Go walk your dog. Go do something more productive. Go talk to the birds. Go to Alki Beach if you live in Seattle. Go do something. Hug a tree.
The Edmonds Ferry is one of my favorite things.
There's so many things to do. There's so much to do. Nature is calling you. Nature's saying, guess what, buddy? I can help you be with yourself. Come give me a chance.
So, I mean, is there any final thoughts we want to add here? Because I think we've got the point across as much as possible. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
I want to say, if this upsets you, we've done our job. Because we're asking for you to check with yourself. Because this doesn't bother me. I'm not attached. It's your choice. I pick light and ridiculousness. Because that's who I am. That's who I was built. That is how I was built. And I don't have to dim it for anybody.
Let's give him a hand.
Let's give you a hand.
And so my final thought is this. I've been super conscious a long time. I see everything when I look, but I'm not nosy. But I've met a lot of gurus. And when I walk in the room and the gurus look at me and I look at them, I see them and I see who they are and I see the systems they're in. And they just look at me and their eyes always get wide. They're like, oh, you can see. Nothing wrong with gurus. It's simply that they're in a system and that system is limited. We are moving past limitation to direct knowing through our own higher self. And you can choose that. So I really want you to understand that it's time, and it's time to get out of fear and into more joy and allowing yourself to be unveiled. So I'm going to say good night, and I really thank everyone for showing up and listening and sharing this video. What anything we need to add? I mean, we always forget.
There is something that I wanted, because
go ahead.
Told me, is that, so initiation doesn't mean we initiate you. Initiation starts with yourself. That's self-authority. So we don't initiate anybody. You initiate yourself. So I wanted to make that clear because Source asked me to.
Sure.
Okay? You initiate yourself. We don't initiate anybody. We've initiated ourselves. I've initiated myself. He's initiated himself.
Yeah.
We do this because we want to and we love ourselves. And we love you guys. So thank you. Please share, like Todd said. Is there Emerald?
Oh yeah, Emerald Spirals coming up next Saturday. I'll be there with my energy discs, which are fantastic supports. This is Divine Love, and this is a healing disc. We all take vitamins. So please come out for that. Also, we are available for readings. I have a beautiful office in Edmonds, and Lobo works there too. So if you're led to clear some of the stuff, that's part of our design also. So we always forget to say, hey, this is our work.
Yes.
And we do accept the abundance that comes forth from our work.
Yes.
So have a beautiful, beautiful eve. Be good to yourself. Big smiley face. Check your thoughts for the next week.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Mwah.
Love you guys.